China isn't just rebuilding neighborhoods. It's reshaping entire landscapes at record speed and epic scale. These mega projects aren't mere statistics or far-off concepts. They're concrete, steel, and real-world game changers. So get ready to explore 15 staggering feats of modern engineering that prove the world's most populous nation has no intention of slowing down. Number 15. Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge. The Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge is a truly mind-boggling structure that stretches across a vast part of eastern China. Spanning about 164 kilometers, 102 miles, it's known as one of the longest bridges in the world. Opened in 2011, this giant is part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway, letting trains zoom across at remarkable speeds. Building it cost around $8.5 billion, and it was definitely worth every penny for the convenience it brings. Thanks to clever engineering, the bridge stands strong against powerful typhoons and earthquakes. That means it can handle some serious punishment from Mother Nature without crumbling. Much of the bridge runs above flat farmland, lakes, and wetlands, connecting Danyang, Kunshan, and other cities along the way. If you catch a ride on the high-speed train, you'll cruise along at hundreds of kilometers per hour, passing serene landscapes in mere seconds. The design includes a long viaduct with sturdy pillars meant to distribute weight evenly, so travelers enjoy a smooth, safe journey. It's also notable for being an economic lifeline. By slashing travel times between major cities, it encourages people to move around for business, education, and tourism more easily. Essentially, it boosts both connectivity and prosperity. Though it might look plain from a distance, don't underestimate the complexity underneath. Engineers tackled numerous challenges, including soft soil and watery terrain. They had to use massive concrete piles driven deep into the ground to keep everything stable. Locals say the project has helped put their towns on the map, fostering faster growth and greater trade opportunities. From an environmental perspective, special care was taken to preserve nearby fields and water channels. Number 14. Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam is one of China's most famous and controversial megaprojects. Spanning the Yangtze River in Hubei province, it's considered the world's largest power station in terms of installed capacity. Completed around 2012, at a cost of over $30 billion, this colossal dam stretches over 2 kilometers long and stands about 185 meters high. One of its biggest selling points is its ability to produce huge amounts of hydroelectric power. At peak output, it can generate more electricity than many smaller nations' entire grids. That's a real game changer for powering China's growing cities and industries and beyond. However, the Three Gorges Dam hasn't come without problems. To create its enormous reservoir, millions of people had to be relocated from their homes and villages. Many of these folks ended up receiving minimal compensation, causing frustration and hardship. In addition, the dam drastically altered the local environment. Entire ecosystems disappeared underwater, wildlife species became endangered, and precious historical sites were submerged. Still, supporters argue the dam brings vital benefits. It helps control flooding along the Yangtze, sparing downstream communities from potentially devastating inundations. Its massive power output also reduces reliance on coal, curbing some of China's air pollution. Tourists flock to the area, amazed by the scale of the engineering and the scenic cruises along the reservoir. Number 13. Djibouti's infrastructure. Djibouti, a small country in the Horn of Africa, has become a hotspot for massive Chinese investments. Despite barely covering 23,000 square kilometers, it's located in a strategic region connecting the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Because of this prime position, China has poured billions into Djibouti's ports, railways, and more. One key project is the Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway, which cuts travel time for freight and passengers between Ethiopia's capital and Djibouti's port. By boosting trade and quick transport, these improvements aim to transform Djibouti into a major logistics hub for East Africa, fueling growth and connections. However, these flashy new facilities come with hefty price tags and concerns over heavy debt. Reports indicate Djibouti has borrowed billions from China, raising fears about whether it can repay these loans. Some critics worry that if Djibouti struggles to meet its obligations, Beijing might seize control of critical infrastructure. There's also unease about potential over-reliance on China for development. Despite this, local officials have lauded the benefits. New ports today handle more ships, and upgraded railways reduce trucking costs for goods. The situation in Djibouti offers a snapshot of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative, where large sums of money flow into ports, rail lines, and roads worldwide. For many in Djibouti, these projects are an opportunity. Ports can handle more cargo, trains link landlocked neighbors to the sea, and new industries promise expanded revenue streams. But the path isn't without bumps. Concerns about debt sustainability, sovereignty, and environmental impacts hang in the balance. Number 12. Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway. The Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway in Kenya is a modern rail line that's all about faster connections. Back when people relied on buses or older tracks, journeys between the coastal city of Mombasa and the bustling capital of Nairobi could take 9 to 12 hours. But when China stepped in with a multi-billion-dollar financing deal, everything changed. Completed in 2018, at a cost of about $3.2 billion, this new rail route covers roughly 470 kilometers, cutting travel time to just 4 or 5 hours. Thanks to sleek trains and a convenient schedule, it's become a popular choice for travelers. Kenya views this railway as a game-changer for both passenger and cargo transport. On the passenger side, ticket prices remain fairly affordable, and trains run more reliably than the old lines. Freight service is a big deal too, as the railway helps move goods from Mombasa's busy port to inland regions much faster. That's good news for importers, exporters, and businesses looking to expand. Yet, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Kenya borrowed heavily from Chinese lenders to construct this line and now struggles to keep up with loan payments. Beyond the finances, the railway also stirred debates about local wildlife and livelihoods. Conservationists worried about how tracks might affect wildlife migration corridors, especially near national parks. Meanwhile, farmers and communities near the route had to adapt to land acquisitions and new infrastructure. Number 11. Chongqing High-Speed Railway. The Chongqing High-Speed Railway is part of China's ambition to bring fast trains to every corner of the nation. The idea is to connect the southwestern megacity of Chongqing with other major hubs like Kunming, slicing travel times dramatically. With a budget reportedly topping $20 billion, this rail line plans to zoom trains along at speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. For residents and visitors, that's a big leap forward compared to conventional trains or buses. By making it quicker to move people and products, the railway promises to boost tourism, trade, and overall economic development across the region. Engineers face unique challenges in this mountainous area. Chongqing is known for its hilly landscapes and winding rivers, so tunnel boring and bridge construction require serious skill. However, such feats are almost routine for China's rail builders, who've dealt with dramatic terrain in various parts of the country. Once finished, the journey between Chongqing and Kunming should drop from several hours to just a couple, making day trips or weekend getaways a breeze. Freight trains will also keep supply routes running smoothly. Local industries, from electronics to agriculture, are set to benefit from a more efficient link connecting them to the rest of China. On the flip side, high-speed rail expansions can come at a cost. Building a modern railway means huge investments in land acquisition, materials, and labor, which can weigh heavily on public finances. Critics point out that some routes struggle with low ridership, raising questions about profitability. Still, proponents argue that infrastructure is key to long-term regional growth. Number 10. Shanghai Urban Rail Expansion. Shanghai is already known for its impressive skyline and vibrant city life, but it's also racing to expand its urban rail network in a big way. Imagine adding 6 new subway lines and 3 intercity railways, stretching about 286 kilometers in total. This massive project kicked off in 2018 and comes with a price tag of over $44 billion. By the time it's done, currently estimated around 2023, Shanghai hopes to connect its 2 major airports and 2 train stations more efficiently. For locals, that means cutting down on travel times and simplifying commutes. For tourists, it means easier access to the city's countless attractions. A huge city like Shanghai thrives on convenience. With millions of daily riders, a fast and reliable rail system can truly be a game-changer. The expanded lines will reach into growing suburbs and business hubs, offering people a chance to live farther out while still working downtown. Plus, with traffic congestion being a real problem, better public transport can help ease pollution and lower commute stress. Officials want to ensure that trains arrive like clockwork, making everyday travel a breeze. If everything goes according to plan, this expansion will make Shanghai a leader in transit development, even by global standards. Still, big projects come with big challenges. Construction can lead to road closures, noise, and cost overruns. Critics worry about delays or whether all the new lines will see enough riders to justify the expense. But supporters argue that Shanghai's population continues to boom, and better connections will pay off in the long run. In fact, many believe that once the lines are complete, the city's economic growth will get a serious boost. Businesses can tap into broader talent pools, and residents gain more travel flexibility. Number 9. South-North Water Transfer Project. China's South-North Water Transfer Project might sound complicated, but at its core, it's about getting water from places that have a lot of it down south to places that really need it up north. Picture 3 gigantic canal routes, the eastern, central, and western ones. Together, they're designed to move nearly 45 billion cubic meters of water each year by 2050. That's a huge deal for the northern half of China, which is home to around 50% of the country's population, but holds only about 20% of its water resources. In short, it's a nation-sized plumbing job, meant to even out supply. The idea is super ambitious, but so is the price tag. Estimates have soared beyond $79 billion, blowing past original budgets. The eastern route aims to send water towards Shanghai, the central route feeds Beijing, and the western route targets the country's northwest. Engineers face tough tasks: dealing with massive canal construction, weather extremes, and environmental concerns. Critics also point out that building endless canals could mess with ecosystems, displace local communities, and even stir up pollution problems if water flows through highly industrialized regions. Still, supporters see it as a must-do solution to keep major cities hydrated and industry humming. Despite the big plans, there's no guarantee it'll all wrap up on schedule or fully solve the water shortage. Some worry about corruption, leakages in the system, and whether farmers or poorer communities will truly benefit. While a project of this scale can help address droughts and even out water use, it also brings up a ton of questions about cost, sustainability, and long-term impact on rivers. Yet from Beijing's perspective, water is life, and turning off the taps simply isn't an option. For now, the South-North Water Transfer Project stands as one of the most colossal attempts to reshape a country's natural flow. Number 8. South China Sea Islands. In the South China Sea, China has taken an unusual approach to territorial disputes, building its own islands. This vast area is filled with valuable shipping lanes, rich fish stocks, and potential oil reserves. Multiple countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines have claims here under international law. But China is using dredges and construction crews to pile up sand, concrete, and airstrips on tiny reefs and atolls. The result? Artificial islands that Beijing treats like extensions of its mainland. By doing this, China argues it controls the surrounding water, hoping to strengthen its presence and sway the region's balance of power. Nicknamed the Great Wall of Sand by a US admiral, these islands look like mini-military bases in the middle of the sea. China has reportedly built facilities for jet fighters, radar stations, and other defense hardware. Supporters say this boosts China's security and helps keep shipping routes open. Critics call it a takeover, claiming these islands are a military threat and an ecological disaster. Dredging up coral reefs has damaged marine life, and tensions spike whenever rival navies cross paths. The whole region is kind of a geopolitical hotspot, with global powers watching closely to see how things develop. For now, China's approach is partly about showing neighbors and the world that it has the muscle to do what it wants in these waters. The gamble is whether these new outposts will provoke more hostility or eventually lead to negotiations. Other nations in Southeast Asia worry that these islands could be used to pressure them in sea disputes, while international observers wonder how far China might push its claims. Despite the friction, Chinese ships keep adding sand, building airstrips, and flying planes in and out. Only time will tell if this bold island-building strategy helps China get what it wants or leads to bigger conflicts. Number 7. China's ghost cities. China's ghost cities are places that sprang up from scratch with shiny new towers, roads, and parks, yet hardly anyone moved in. During the late 2000s and 2010s, local governments and developers built entire urban zones in hopes that people would soon follow. Some of the most famous examples include Ordos in Inner Mongolia and Thames Town near Shanghai. These projects cost billions of dollars and showcase modern skyscrapers, malls, and even replicas of European architecture. Yet when you visit, you'll find empty streets and vacant lots. It's a surreal sight, almost like walking through a futuristic movie set without any extras. So why pour so much money into cities no one lives in? Part of it is real estate speculation. Investors see property in China as a safer bet than the volatile stock market, so they hoard apartments expecting prices to go up. Another factor is government support. Local officials often rely on land sales to fund their budgets, encouraging non-stop construction. The trouble is, these developments can't attract enough permanent residents without real jobs, schools, and essential services. That means entire districts become ghostly pockets of inactivity, with lights off and shops still in coming soon mode. It's an odd economic gamble. Not all ghost cities stay empty forever. Some do eventually fill up as industries move in or as regional policies shift. Ordos, for example, has seen a gradual uptick in population, but many others remain largely deserted, drained of life, and stuck with massive infrastructure costs. For the Chinese government, this creates a tricky balance: keep building to fuel growth, or slow down to avoid more empty towers. Number 6. Chengdu Tianfu International Airport. Chengdu Tianfu International Airport is the shiny new gateway to one of China's biggest and fastest-growing cities. Chengdu itself has around 18 million people, and its existing airport was bursting at the seams with nearly 56 million passengers a year. So the government decided to spend about $11 billion on a modern facility that can handle up to 80 or even 100 million travelers annually. Located about 50 kilometers southeast of the city center, this airport features 6 runways, 2 huge terminals, and a design shaped like a sunbird, a mythical creature that's become a local cultural icon. Stepping inside, you'll find a sprawling complex that's roughly the size of 46 football fields. There are 5 floors above ground and 2 below, packed with shops, restaurants, and lounges to make layovers more bearable. The idea is to give travelers a smooth experience, whether they're flying domestically or abroad. With its state-of-the-art technology, Chengdu Tianfu aims to reduce wait times and handle more flights without delays. It's also an important economic booster for the region. Efficient air travel is crucial for attracting investors, promoting tourism, and helping local businesses reach international markets faster than ever. Of course, like any giant project, it faced challenges, from land acquisition issues to keeping construction on schedule. But the airport opened in 2021, right when air travel was slowly rebounding post-pandemic. Officials hope that as travel picks up again, Tianfu will thrive as a major hub alongside Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Some folks worry about overcapacity or high operating costs, but supporters see it as future-proofing for Chengdu's continued growth. It also positions the city as a prime spot for conferences, tech trade shows, and global business. Number 5. Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway. Indonesia's Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway is a huge undertaking meant to connect the country's busiest city, Jakarta, with the lively hub of Bandung. Right now, traveling between these two places usually takes around 3 hours by car or bus, not counting the dreaded extra traffic jams. With this new railway, the trip should drop to about 30 minutes, giving both business folks and casual travelers a big-time bonus. The project costs about $8 billion and is heavily backed by Chinese funding, making it part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative. Construction started a few years ago, but ran into delays. One key reason this railway is such a big deal is because it promises to spur growth in West Java, one of Indonesia's most populated areas. By slashing travel times, the hope is to draw in more investment, make it easier for people to get to jobs, and even boost tourism for Bandung's cool climate and cultural scene. But the project hasn't been smooth sailing. It faced both scheduling problems and budget overruns, thanks in part to COVID-19 disruptions. The Indonesian government eventually had to pitch in even more money, despite early promises that China would cover most of the costs. Beyond the finances, there's a bit of political drama too. Japan originally vied for this project, proposing a faster but more expensive line. Indonesia picked China's cheaper offer, only to face issues later. Still, many Indonesians remain excited, imagining a future where they can zip between these two cities in less time than it takes to watch a movie. Number 4. Hambantota Port. Hambantota Port is a major deep-water harbor in Sri Lanka, located in the southern part of the island. Built with large-scale Chinese financing, it was meant to spark economic development by handling cargo and boosting trade. Construction began around 2008, costing a whopping $8 billion overall. It officially opened in 2010 with big hopes of turning Sri Lanka into a bustling maritime hub. Unfortunately, reality hasn't quite matched the original vision. In the early years, the port had pretty low traffic and even recorded yearly losses. Critics say this is a prime example of a white elephant project. Huge spending, little return. Eventually, Sri Lanka found itself struggling to repay its debts for the port. To ease the financial strain, the government cut a controversial deal in 2017. It leased a 70% stake in the port and about 15,000 acres of surrounding land to a Chinese state-controlled company for 99 years, receiving $1.1 billion in return. This arrangement gave China major influence over a strategic location near some of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Many observers worry it represents a debt trap, with Sri Lanka forced to trade away its sovereignty to satisfy loan obligations. Supporters argue it injects much-needed funds. Despite the drama and debate, Hambantota Port has modern facilities that could one day attract traffic if trade patterns shift. Sri Lankan leaders still hope it can become a key stop for shipping, especially for oil tankers, given its location close to major routes. There's also potential for industry to grow around the port, creating jobs and making Sri Lanka more competitive regionally. Number 3. Xi'an Airport Expansion. Xi'an is a historic city in central China, famous for the terracotta army and ancient city walls. However, with a population of more than 8 million and growing, its airport has become super busy. The existing airport serves over 44 million passengers each year, and space is tight. To ease the load, the Chinese government kicked off a $6.8 billion expansion. The plan includes 2 new terminals, 3 more runways, a huge ground transportation center, and even a subway station built right in. Once complete, this mega project aims to handle up to 83 million passengers and 1 million tons of cargo annually. That's a massive jump in capacity, one that would put Xi'an in the same league as some of the world's busiest airports. Supporters say this expansion will boost tourism and business by making travel more seamless. The upgraded airport will have sleek facilities and faster connections, improving the passenger experience. Equally important is the cargo side, which could attract logistics companies and shipping giants thanks to Xi'an's strategic location along major trade routes. This all plays into China's broader plan to develop inland cities, reduce congestion at coastal hubs, and give central regions a bigger share of global commerce. Still, an expansion of this scale isn't cheap or simple. Construction can bring noise, traffic detours, and unexpected glitches. Some worry about whether demand truly matches such a big increase in passenger capacity. Others question if this money could be better spent on other city projects. Number 2. Angola International Airport. Angola International Airport is set to become a major modern air hub on Africa's southwest coast. Located near the capital city of Luanda, it's been in the works since around 2003, financed significantly by Chinese loans under the Belt and Road Initiative. The price tag sits at roughly $3.8 billion, with work involving 2 lengthy runways, spacious terminals, and facilities designed to welcome 15 million passengers a year. For a long time, travelers relied on Quatro de Fevereiro Airport, which opened in 1954 and struggled to handle rapid population and economic growth in Angola, one of Africa's biggest oil producers. Construction hasn't been smooth. Initially set to open by 2015 or 2016, unforeseen financial hiccups and delays pushed back the deadline multiple times. Officials now say the airport should finally open sometime soon, though timelines have shifted before. There's also curiosity about whether passenger demand is high enough to justify such a costly, large facility. Still, local authorities see this airport as a major step forward, promising more flights, improved tourism, and a better global link for Angolan business. They imagine modern terminals with efficient boarding, ample gates, and advanced safety systems that meet international standards. On the ground, people hope the airport can create jobs, both during construction and once flights start taking off. New hotels, shops, and transport services might pop up, boosting the local economy. Number 1. Guangzhou Evergrande Football Stadium. Guangzhou Evergrande Football Stadium is a planned mega arena in Guangzhou, one of China's largest and most vibrant cities. With a proposed seating capacity of 100,000, it's touted as one of the world's biggest soccer-exclusive stadiums. The design includes a flashy lotus flower roof, a nod to Guangzhou's nickname, the Flower City. The total project area is around 1.6 million square feet, and the projected cost rings in at roughly $1.8 billion. It's all about boosting Chinese soccer culture, giving a new home to Guangzhou's top-tier team. The government hopes this stadium will compete with iconic venues around the globe. However, the stadium's future has been clouded by financial troubles at Evergrande Group, the property developer behind it. Evergrande's massive debt, amounting to over $300 billion, has triggered concerns about whether they can finish large-scale projects. Construction on this stadium was supposed to wrap up in 2022, but progress stalled. Rumors suggest it could be sold off or taken over by government interests. Local soccer fans and city planners are still eager to see it go up, envisioning big matches, concerts, and international events that could attract scores of tourists and a healthy dose of revenue. Thanks for watching another episode. While you are still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more quality content.